Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood. We get to do this one via modern technology. It's not just tin cans and strings anymore. Joe Morales, the head volleyball coach at Lion U, on a 3-game winning streak coming to this one. First, Joe, congratulations to you and your Lion women.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It was a good win last night. We definitely enjoyed it.
Talk a little bit about the impact of these. You know, we spent a couple of weeks. You had that rough stretch with the top teams back to back, but now you're getting to take on the rest of them and building up some momentum.
Yeah, and that's what we want. Yeah, to that accord, that's what we want. We want to build the momentum up a little bit. It's going to be a fight between 5, 6, and 7. I think it's what it's looking like right now. And so, um, we like our odds. We like where we're at because the two teams are going up against this week. We already played and beat them. And so, it's always, I mean, we're not taking it lightly. It's always going to be, I mean, they're two good teams and we're playing them in their house. So, we just got to go after it. And yeah, but the momentum has, it's been a great shift for us. So it's been in a good one at that. So we're excited about it.
That's got to help in the locker room too. Those girls, they got a little more pep in their step coming off a dub.
Yeah, no, they're excited, and every time they know they can do it. So even like in the pregame chats, I mean, they're already talking to each other in the team morale. They're very uplifting, and they know what they want, and they know what they want to go do, and they see it, and coming from last year being in making it in 8th place without UTRGV and SFA, and to be in this position with those two teams right now, and having a really good opportunity to get up in the seeding is. It's kind of opened their eyes a little bit to like, hey, we're here. We just got to get it done. So it's been good.
Toughest team you have remaining on the schedule, excuse me, down at Southeastern, but everybody else. Talk a little bit about the other seeds in the tournament,
right,
and how it's shaken up.
And to that point, I think Southeastern, and we have them here at home, so that's a good thing on next Thursday, which is they're undefeated right now, so it's good to get them in our last week. But to that same statement, I think the hardest teams are this weekend right now because these are the ones that are shifting us a little bit. You win or you lose. You get the win, and it's great against Southeastern. That's what we want to do, but we got to take care of business between these two teams right now because these are the shifting ones. These are the ones that can kind of move us up or down depending on what we need to do because they still got to go and turn around and play the top teams too. So we need to get the wins where we need to get them, and we're taking it one game at a time. So we're not even looking at Southeastern right now. We're looking at Houston Christian and then moving straight into Incarnate Word. But with 4 games remaining, we're all in. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight. But the girls are very prepared for it. So.
And your team leaders, their energy got lifted just as much as everybody else's. Talk about the way that some of your veteran players have stepped up for you.
I think they're in it. I think Reese has stepped up. She came out in the earlier the first set and then didn't play the second set and then came back in and then tore it up. So the veterans they know how to keep that momentum. So even if I pull them, they're coming in, even maintaining or even pushing a little bit more. They're not down in their spirits, like, oh. So it's exciting to watch that I can flip some things around and they're still there to go. And so Reese has been taking on a huge role with passing and scoring. Millie comes in a little bit, depending on what we're running. If I'm running a 6-2, she comes in a little bit late to save the subs. But then she comes in and, like yesterday, she had some aces. So she comes in with that firepower. KB has been performing well when she needed to in that right back position, and so that's good. And so I think our veterans are taking control, and I think everybody's following the lead a little bit, and the morale's been great on the bench. It's been high energy. Everybody knows they have one goal, and that's to win, and so they're following suit, which is it's been great to watch.
Younger players, this deep into the season, they're starting to get their own comfort level in the locker room and talking amongst teammates and all that, and huddles and timeouts. Which of the younger players have really had the most progress over the course of the year?
Well, we got to look at Katana. Katana's still young. She's a sophomore, and I think she's come a long way from her freshman year. I mean,
Hmm?
I'm watching her in film, and she's doing everything I'm asking her to do, like per textbook. And so, of course, she has a big arm, so she also scoring for us. She's going to be fun to watch the remainder years, including this last stretch. Gracie Campbell coming in. She came in, I think, for Reese actually in the first set when we needed those 2 points really, really quickly. She goes out and gets 1 point, and so we're excited to see how they grow a little bit. And so I think our future is bright. We have Samaj in there, who comes in every so often for the serve. She doesn't get a lot of PT, but in practice, she's ready to go, and she's looking to fill that libero spot next year. And so she's being very patient. She's learning. She's understanding. She's communicating. So we're excited about these younger players coming up. So it's gonna be a good one, and for time to come.
Okay, next match coming up. Forgive me, I don't have quite as much in front of me while we're on Zoom as I
All right.
normally would. Tell everybody when the next date is and how to get there.
Sure. Yeah. So we're on the road. Tomorrow we are playing at Incarnate Word, University of Incarnate Word, and that's. I'm sorry, I got those dates wrong as I'm shaping up. We are playing Houston Christian first.
There you
Houston
go.
Christian on Thursday. That's a 6:30 match, and then we head over to San Antonio on Friday to play Incarnate Word on Saturday, and that's going to be a noon match, a little earlier. So we'll be back in time, but we're going to take care of business, and then and then moving into next week. So it's the last stretch. We're right here, like the last stretch, and we're excited about it. And put our cards on the table and let's roll.
There's a good chance I understand that there might be a little bit of a uniform change up here towards the end of the week. Are the players or the students as excited about that as, say, the alum and people that have
Yeah,
been
I
at
think
the school
so.
for decades?
Yeah, I think so. Of course, we're catching at the tail end a little bit, and so we'll see on that on Thursday. Be sure to watch us. You can watch us on ESPN Plus, and that will answer your questions for everybody on that one. I don't want to give too much, but
Of course.
yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, and we're gonna have a little bit of surprise there on that. So
All right, good deal, Coach Morales. Good luck to you. Lines up, my friend. We'll see
thank you
you
so much.
when we all get. All
Yes,
right. See you
absolutely,
guys.
absolutely. All righty, have a good one. Go Lions.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Inside Lion Athletics. Busy week. Teams all over the place. Basketball started this week. And while the men are up in South Dakota for a game tonight, women are taking the day off. They're celebrating that 1-0 start. Coach, you got the win 75-50 over North Texas at Dallas. You probably expected to get that one, but you sure got a chance to see what your team looks like in real action.
Yeah, Monday was really good for us. We were expecting a lot of zone from the jump, so we got that. And was able to get a lot of film on our zone offense, which was good. Um, you know, Kind of slow start, but kind of got into a rhythm there in the second quarter. Defensively, we were pretty good. So, just a few more things we need to work on and get, really fine tuned. But, a lot of stuff we can take from that game.
Was there anything that you saw out of your players that were different from the super secret scrimmages?
I think we're kind of settling in and maybe knowing a little bit more of what we're going to get from each of them every single night. So that's really reassuring.
All right, well, let's talk about the game Monday. Just looking at the box score here, Jordy Newsom, she certainly was happy to get the year started again and led the way with 18 points and 5 rebounds on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan's a workhorse. She was that for us last year, and she, ready to go this year, obviously. But she was good for us on both ends of the floor. She's the one that kind of gets us going, on either end of the floor if we need a spark.
All right, and it's some of your returning players that kind of led the way after her 18. Cora Horvath had a dozen. Jasmine Payne had 10 out there, and Alva Hedrick only 14 rebounds in her Lion debut.
Yeah, we had some, good minutes from a lot of people. Alva was really good underneath, trying to get her more physical, which she's really adapted to the past few weeks. And she's really rebounding the ball well for us right now. So that's something that we're relying on her a lot this year for. Jazz came off the bench for us the other night, gave us some really good minutes. So I'm expecting big things from Jazz this year. And Cora's steady. She'll be at the off guard. We'll have to play her some minutes at the point this year, but Cora's the type of kid that she's going to do whatever the team needs.
Her sister Nina's not too bad. Gave you 8 points, a rebound, and a couple of assists. How did the two sisters play together?
They're good. I think they play well together. They're both extremely smart, high IQ basketball players. And Nina came in from the jump, when school started in August, and I think she felt comfortable from the start. So she's been really good for us. Another guard that we can bring off the bench that we feel comfortable with.
Okay, talk about some of your other newcomers. Some of the last I see off the bench to get into the game. Nyalok Dak, and forgive me if I'm saying her name wrong. I'll learn that when we get home. And Trinity Moreland giving you combining for 11 points, 8 rebounds out of the pair as well.
Yeah, Tren and Nyalok have been really big for us. Actually, all 3 of the post players, we've added some height, obviously, at that spot since last year. And all 3 of them are working hard. They beat each other up in practice every day. But, it was really good to see Nyalok and Tren get in there and get some valuable minutes for us.
What were the things that you saw in the game that you want to see cleaned up the most, the fastest?
I think defensively, we got to be able to guard the ball a little bit better and just be a little more aggressive on the defensive end and trying to make plays on the ball. But that's stuff we can fix in practice, which will start back up today.
How about turnovers, Coach? I know that from last season, you usually were kind of fussy when you had double digits. You had 18 Monday.
Yeah, hopefully we'll, bring those down and settle down. Obviously the zone kind of gave us some fits there at the beginning before we were able to settle down. But I think once we can get in a rhythm, we'll start taking care of the ball a little bit better, and that's something we really emphasize in practice every day. So we've really got to get those down for us to, have more possessions on the offensive end.
All right, you have a few days between your first and your second game this week, but boy, what a step up going to Fayetteville to take on the Arkansas Lady Hogs, I guess would be the nice way to call it. Razorbacks.
Yeah, Arkansas, they're a really good team, they play super fast, so it should be an exciting game. They're going to run it up and down the floor. They're going to take some quick shots. And they got a really good 5 player that they can throw the ball into. So, we'll start getting prepped today for them, today, tomorrow, and, take off tomorrow for our game.
All right, tell us a little bit about what you think about the scores around the Southland Conference Monday night. A couple of big surprises with Texas A&M falling. Was that UIW that got them right at the buzzer? I forget.
Corpus Christi.
Corpus
Christi beat A&M Monday night, which, obviously huge for Royce and his group. And then Rio Grande got him one at Houston last night. So really good start for the Southland on the women's side.
All right. Well, all you got to do is pick up the flag and wave. And that's how we do it. All right, Coach. Hey, last thing, I guess, and I think I'll be asking every coach this episode. I hear there might be some extra uniforms making the trip to Arkansas. Do the players, are they as excited about the possibility of a name change really come to fruition, like alum and people that have been associated with the university a long time?
Yeah, I know it's like a huge deal. To be honest, we haven't talked about it like as a team. I know our kids though, once it happens, and it's like a new uniform and, something new branding to wear, they'll be super excited.
All right. Well, we're all super excited for Friday's games, and we'll be back to Texas here before too long and seeing the women play.
Awesome. Thanks, Charlie.
Coach, thank you so much. Lines up. Folks, we'll be back after this. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to some more of Inside Lion Athletics. We have had Valerie King on to talk about women's basketball. We've talked to Joe Morales about volleyball. They're already on the road by now. Now we get the boss man himself, Jim Curry, the athletic director of Lion Athletics. And man, every week's a busy week for you.
Well, this one's going to take the cake, I think. We had that busy week in October where we had 6 games in 5 days. Well, I guess it was Friday. Well, Thursday night, Avi and I flew down to New Orleans and we met the team down there for cross country. And then we did 4 contests in 2 days in the southern part of Louisiana. So we hit both cross countries, volleyball at Nichols, and then McNeese for football. And I'll tell you, it was it was a good weekend overall. With cross country having their best finish, having our first all Southland Conference performer on the men's side, and then volleyball picking up a win, and then soccer getting a win on the road.
Yeah.
So,
Did I see offensive player of the year?
Player of the year.
Player of the year.
Yeah, player of the year.
That's so cool.
In the conference. So leading goal scorer in the league, and just a tremendous ambassador for us and our women's soccer program, but athletics and university as a whole. And so very deserving honor for her. I know we'd probably like to have her on here, but she's got some things to do, right? So
That's right.
She's busy
Yep.
right now, competing in the conference tournament, and then obviously picked up the win yesterday with in the first round, and then volleyball picking up another win. In volleyball now sitting at 500 in the league, sitting in 6th place, I think, in a really, really competitive league.
I think they're tied up with like Houston and one other.
Yeah, they're tied up.
They can go up or down
right now. They got them next. And, one of the things too, contextually, when you think about volleyball, we add SFA, we add RGV. So now we're up to 12. Those 2 teams, when we inserted them into the league, they went right to the top of the preseason polls. So, if this was last year, they'd be sitting in 4th right about now. And playing well. They've got a good group. They're working hard. They're doing all the extra things you got to do to be competitive. Joe's doing a great job. And so I'm excited to see what's possible for them. They just continue to get better and better. And so, we're fully in it. Obviously we saw hoops on Monday night. So actually, I don't know if those that kind of follow Twitter, I was sitting in the hotel room on Friday night after cross country. We just got into Thibodeau. It was raining a little bit. And I was thinking to myself, I'm looking at my calendar and I'm like, we're going to be all over the place. So maybe what I'll do is, kind of let people kind of come on the journey with me a little bit and kind of see what November looks like, at least from my seat. And so kind of started a little bit of a thread for folks to kind of follow all the different travel along the way and, whether that be home, away, or what have you. So we're kind of having a little bit of fun with that, but it kind of hit front and center when we were when I was driving back in the middle of the night from McNeese, and I hit the time change. It was about the time where the eyelids started to get kind of heavy, but we were then back in the gym on Monday and Tuesday night, and we're obviously going to hit the road again later this week for soccer and then hoops before coming back for Hall of Fame and home football on Saturday. So I like to say, all gas, no brakes.
I know. Hey, if Rose does this 3-game opening week again, I mean, I can't think of too many times that I've been at 5 games in 5 different states in 8 days. It's a challenge, but it's kind of fun to be in the midst of it. And
it's fun. It's November. I mean, that's kind of November in a nutshell, kind of across the entire industry, if I'm being honest. You just got that. We talk about overlap season. We're in overlap season with those fall sports kind of coming to a close. You get the championship season with soccer, volleyball, cross country, and then you get to the start of basketball, and we're just in it right now. And we got a couple other things going on this week too that might be of note. But it's just that time of year, and it's exciting and it's fun. It's also very demanding on the staff. So again, it's one of those where you try to be conscious about just the bandwidth and, what you're trying to add to the plate at the same time, while also trying to manage all the different moving pieces. And part of that stress or that pressure that comes with it is due to success as well, right? If soccer doesn't make the tournament, if volleyball is not in line to make the tournament, then those are one less week for everybody, right? So, there is some added demands that come with just having success, and I'd rather have it that way than the other way around for sure.
Absolutely. Hey, I know you've spoken with Coach Gordon, and congratulations to women's soccer getting the win in their first tournament game this year. How is she feeling, and what'd she have to say about the game?
Yeah, I mean, we talked after the win against Houston Christian the other day, and when Avi and I were driving out to McNeese, and she was excited. I think obviously the confidence that they played with, and you kind of could see what that last game is before you get into tournament play, right? And how you're going into the tournament. Obviously, they had a great performance there, and I think it carried forward. They got off to a nice start in the game against UIW and were able to hold serve there, so that was good. I think the break in between the days and then what we did in terms of just getting them down there and letting them kind of set up shop and rest legs and not have to travel certainly helps. So, I think they'll be ready to go on Thursday night for sure. And, at the same time too, we're on that side of the bracket where I think all three other teams on that side of the bracket are the three teams that we lost to this year. So
right.
no need
it's
to
down to two. She's working on that list.
Yeah. So no need for added motivation there as they're setting up for that side of the bracket. So
all right. Well, what are these other things you're talking about, even besides the possibility of the name change?
Yeah, I mean, we've got we're continuing to still work through some of the items that we discussed at our conference meetings a couple weeks ago. We're actually working with some folks in the conference, and we're gonna talk to some different firms to maybe get some conference legal counsel to help us out. So I got some meetings later today to talk through some potential suitors there. We're continuing to button up some other things on the scheduling front. We're setting the table for what's going to come once we get through kind of the fall season, and then I mean, quite candidly, a lot of the we just had 50% DD design development process complete last week for the basketball arena. We're starting to have a conversation about reviewing proposals for feasibility study over at football and maybe some other initiatives as well. Then, just that minor matter related to all the initiatives surrounding a potential a vote tomorrow on the name change. And again, as I keep reminding the staff, important to remember that still has to go to vote.
It's not done yet.
Not done yet. That's right. And they got to give it its due consideration over there. But, behind the scenes, the team's working really hard to be prepared for that in the event that it occurs tomorrow. And I think folks will be surprised if that goes through and how quickly we're ready to activate and deploy initiatives surrounding that. So obviously everything won't be done if that were to go through on Thursday. Everything won't be done immediately.
Sure.
A little bit of the thought process on this, and I think the president spoke to it in his communication with the campus community is getting a little bit of time to really get through that transition.
Like 6-8 months, isn't that
8 months or so? Try to see if we can get that done before the start of the next academic year in total. But I think for us, we have so many great opportunities in front of us here, particularly in November, to showcase the brand. And so if this goes through on Thursday, we want to be able to be ready to go, and we are. Frankly, we are ready to go. So we've got a game on Thursday. We have two contests on Thursday night with volleyball and soccer. So we would be ready in the event for both of those. And then we've got two Power 4 matchups in basketball. Women tip off in the morning against Arkansas, and the men tip off that evening in College Station, coincidentally enough. And we'll be ready for those as well in the event that this goes through. So, and if it doesn't go through for some reason, we're ready the other way around too. So that's taken a lot of time and energy and attention for the staff at a busy time of year, regardless. But I really, really commend the team and our coaches for really staying focused and staying on track with what they've got to do normally, but also being ready and prepared for this type of transition to happen quickly should that occur this week.
All right, very good. So something you've mentioned the Hall of Fame a couple of times.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, appreciate you mentioning that. Yeah. So Hall of Fame induction on Saturday for this year's class. And we have a great group. If folks haven't seen that group of inductees, it's an impressive group. 2 national champions in there, some great supporters. Uh, you know, actually, the last individual national champion in track and field that we haven't gotten inducted is going to go in posthumously, and so we've got family there for him, which is really special. We've got, arguably outside of the national championship team, maybe our best men's basketball team going in, so that's exciting as well. Hall of Honor is Scott and Catherine Wheeler, who have been great supporters of Lion Athletics for decades. Literally,
Yep.
they live it. And then on top of that, our Bobby Fox Award winner, Lyndon Love, who's just an accomplished high school coach, obviously, and many different stops along the way. And it was fun talking to him when I was able to make the call and let him know he won the Bobby Fox. He was just so excited. And I actually think he has a game that day, but he's moving the game time so he can be here for the award, to receive the award. And so kind of fun. And I think it just, again, kind of shows the passion and the legacy and the tradition of success that not just here while they were student athletes or enrolled in school, but also beyond that, and how they continue to carry that with them. So we have a big group. A big group of folks in attendance. We're over 100 folks that will be in attendance for the event. So we actually have a little bit of a good problem in that we got to make sure we get some additional space so people have some room to eat and be comfortable. But that's a good problem to have. But I think, again, it just kind of shows the energy and the momentum and everything that's going around the program right now in the university. There's just a lot of excitement, and so it's fun to tap into that. But excited about Hall of Fame this weekend for sure.
Josiah Castro let me in on a little secret. One of your items that'll be auctioned off for the support of the department, and it's a coin.
Oh, yeah,
a commemorative
yeah,
coin that was flown over the D-Day beaches this summer in one of the annual commemorations. That is so cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So again, after everything we just discussed for this weekend, when we get into kind of game promotion, again, we'll be ready and be prepared in the event that the vote is approved on Thursday. But aside from that, for Saturday, we've got some Veterans Day and military appreciation based initiatives that include that coin that flew over Normandy this year that will be used in the coin toss. We've got an enlistment ceremony on field. So we've got some other military appreciation related elements with the game. We also have this huge reading program that we've started here locally that we're going to get some more information out for folks so they can learn more about it. But we're going to start recognizing some of our youth reading program success stories there and some of the students that are involved in that locally here. So there's a lot going on this weekend. There's nothing short. And then there's also a rather intriguing football game underway too. So
we've got some whole family coming by.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So needless to say, there'll be plenty to do and plenty to enjoy this weekend for sure.
Yes, indeed. All right. I don't know where else to go or what else. Let me ask you this.
I don't think there's anything left.
Have you ever seen the Missouri River? Have you been up where the men's basketball team is in South Dakota?
I haven't. I've always wanted to go to Mount Rushmore, but I haven't made it up there. The Midwest is kind of one of those parts of the countries that I just haven't really gotten to. I think maybe I went to Omaha one time for college.
Okay.
That's probably as far north in the Midwest. Been to Milwaukee and Chicago to catch some baseball games.
Right.
That's about it. I don't even think I've ever been to Montana or Idaho or anything like that. So that's a part of the country that's not. I've done the whole I-5 corridor on the West Coast,
right?
95 corridor on the East Coast, the whole southern part. It's so I've got like a U. I'm missing that part in the middle.
I-29, they picked the right number for that highway, the interstate that runs up through here, because that's about the average morning temperature this time of year.
Okay.
It's a little chilly, but we're all good to go. Hey, the one thing that's kind of neat here at U of South Dakota, right across from their football dome, they got one of the dome stadiums and the basketball arena attached to it. I'm looking out my window from the hotel at those right across the street. You know,
Oh yeah,
facility, yeah.
We kind of talk here. Could we turn the field house into a dome, and then we could play inside in air conditioning, right? Now it's not feasible.
September, you're thinking.
We did measure it. Don't think for a second we haven't measured it. All right, so but that won't be a viable option. But I've always seen kind of like Kibbe Dome and Fargo Dome and those types of things, in the FCS, and I'm like, those look kind of fun. And I know how loud the field house gets, so imagine if you stuck 10,000, 15,000 people in there for a football game, how jacked up it can get. So
Man, that'd be a
Clint
blast.
probably remembers those days from his arena days, right? It can get
Oh,
loud
they
in
can.
the arena, yeah.
Yeah, they can indeed. All
Okay.
right, Jim.
Well, I know you're up with
you.
hoops too, but I'm sorry to cut you off there, but I know you're up there with hoops, but nice start for them too. Women got a great win the other day, and obviously the men, not every day that you got more points in the paint than a Big Ten team, and play with them for most of the game, and we kind of had that little stretch there in the second half where we got a little bit sloppy with the turnovers, and I know Jarrett's addressing that and working on that, but those guys should be excited. And I think we talked last week and going into the year about how basketball could surprise some folks, and I think if they can keep doing what they're doing, there was a lot of positives on Monday for sure that we can continue to lean in. So looking forward to what's in store for basketball this year. Men are home next week for the first time, so make sure folks get out to see them.
All right. Hey, we'll see you soon, and we'll see everybody else during Inside Line Athletics in just another couple of minutes. Stick around. We'll be back.
Go Lions.
Go Lions. Welcome back, everybody, to Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood. We're doing it over Zoom this week, or because everybody's in a different place. I'm up with a basketball team in South Dakota, and now I get to talk to our football coach, Clint Dalzell. Coach, it's a big game this week. Colby Carthel. And he's probably going to be looking for that axe y'all somehow managed to find in your luggage
I
back
don't know
in the
how
summer.
they ended up getting it in our bag and we ended up with it. I have no idea how that all worked out, but we've taken care of it. We've got it nice and sharpened up, and we're ready to present it to them on Saturday.
Did y'all, like, just to kind of salt them a little bit, put a stuffed lion in their bag in exchange for the axe?
Well, I mean, again, I don't know how it got in our bag, but it just ended up there. So we're not saying we did. We're not saying we didn't. It just ended up in there, and we've taken care of it. That's the main part.
You are sounding like Sergeant Schultz right now. I know nothing. I know nothing.
I used to watch that Hogan's Heroes.
So tell us a little bit about how the week's been. It was a tough one down in Lake Charles on Saturday.
Yeah, it was. We offensively just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. We had some opportunities. I think we're in the red zone 4 times. We got the ball right off the bat, got a great break. Defense got a quick turnover on the very first play, and it's the same thing. And we watch film. It's just not all 11 being on the same page. And we've had a revolving door of a lot of players playing. I think we had 39 players play on the offensive side, which is hard to get some continuity when you're doing that. Had some more injuries on that side. Lost Sean on the first drive, our second drive, I believe, which is a big loss for us at tight end there. We had a lot of plans for him in that game. And, we had a tough time defensively just stopping them. They killed us with the GT. And, when you have 400 yards of rushing, it's hard to watch over there on the sideline, not getting out there. And just a rough game for us. We got to put some points on the board when we have our opportunities, and we've got to be able to stop that run better, down in the future.
We were talking before the game Saturday. You thought that maybe we'd be able to run against them and lean on them a little bit. It didn't work. Did they come up with something that you didn't expect?
No, I mean, like I said, we tried it right off the bat, and we did some decent running, but if you're getting a 5-man box and you can't run, it's going to be a tough night. And we did on the first couple drives. We tried to run it, and again, we had some opportunities. We're just missing a block or two. Somebody's not doing their assignment, so it's just a matter of executing when it comes right down to it. We got to hold ourselves accountable and everything with play calling as well. But at the end of the day, once we send the play out, it's got to be executed, and we didn't execute very well. And it showed. Again, we had too many opportunities that we wasted. We tried to, run it down there, I think 6 times in a row in the red zone once, and then we threw it 4 times. Had some guys open, but didn't hit them and didn't play catch. So again, just shooting ourselves in the foot. But yeah, running the ball has been tough for us lately, and we've got to get back to it.
All right, tell us a little bit about what you have seen out of SFA over the course of it. They've had some games that make you scratch your head, and then they have some that they kind of look like one of Colby's teams.
Yeah, Colby's done a good job. He did a good job getting some players in there. It's obvious they've used some NIL money to get some quality talent. They're a lot better than they were last year. When we put up 20-something points, 28 points or so when we went to their place. They're big, they're strong. They try to force their will on you. They like to throw it, which is kind of a little more plays into our hand if you're going to try to throw it. We got our secondary that's that's pretty salty. So hopefully we can come out of there and make a good showing up for sure. They're lost to McNeese. We just got through watching that and talking about that with Jim, and that was a tough one for them to swallow, I'm sure. They threw a Hail Mary at halftime and really dominated the game and end up losing, in the last play of the game. So very solid football team, but beatable. We got to play good on both sides of the ball in all 3 phases, being matter of fact. So not just offense, defense, or special teams. We got to play well because we still remember them onside kicking twice on us last year, and when they were up 30-something. So we're not real happy with that one either. So hopefully we can redeem ourselves.
Nobody can cut you quite like family can. Isn't that the way that goes? So, hey, you've played 4 out of the last 5 games on the road. The guys finally get home with 3 games ahead of them, and they don't have to pile on a bus anymore. How does that affect everybody's attitude and their ability to get ready for Saturday's game?
It's nice just from, the coaching side of it. It's actually another day of prep. You don't have to be traveling. You can kind of relax and, get more prepping in for the week. You don't have to worry about travel and dealing with all that and all that nonsense. But being at home is nice. It's been a while since we've been back home. Our crowds have been great. We're looking forward to that and getting in front of them and, going out and making them proud of us. That's our biggest thing right now. We want to go out and have a good showing. And we put the work in. You wouldn't think we're a 1-8 football team the way we practice. Our kids practice hard, and our coaches, we get after it like, we're playing for the Super Bowl.
All right, Coach. Well, we can't wait to get back for that. It's kind of cool to be up here with Rose and his guys, but there's no place like home.
No doubt. Well, we miss y'all and wish y'all the best out there and be careful.
All right, man. Lines up, folks. That is Clint Dalzell. Thanks, Coach, for your time. And friends, we'll be back with a little bit more after this. Welcome back, everybody, to more of Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood, and I am not in commerce. Neither is Coach Ashley Gordon, who's got the Lion women's soccer team into the 2nd round of the Southland Conference Championships. Coach, nice win on Monday.
But yeah, no, we had a great game. We had a great game last night. Team came out firing. Of course, we're all excited to be here. But yeah, I mean, heading into the quarterfinal game, is certainly an honor. We were facing Incarnate Word, which, when you look at the bracket, Charlie, everyone after the seedings came out, everybody in our bracket were the 3 teams that we had a loss to. Everybody in the other bracket, we obviously had points and had beaten them. So really, it's given us motivation to, number one, come out and prove ourselves, right?
Right.
To get a second bite at the apple to face any one of these teams. And so that's what played out last night. We had an opportunity to have revenge on Incarnate Word and came out and, really had controlled the majority of the game and came out with a W. So really excited about the result.
And especially with having just played Incarnate Word last week, right?
Yeah. It was the game before last. So we played them on October 25th. And so, not much time of separation in between. And, but, again, no surprises. We knew exactly from a personnel standpoint, style of play, we knew exactly what we were facing. And so, players understand what their job is and what they have to do. And they did exactly that last night.
It's always easier to feel like you've made that rebound against a team that just got you the last time you saw them, and then you get them.
That, of course. Well, if you look at the history since I've taken this job, so in 22, we beat Incarnate Word. And then last year we had a tie at our back in Commerce. And then of course this year we lost it at their place. And so, for our fourth meeting, since certainly I've been in this position, it was great to get the win last night.
All right, let's talk about how that game went. Your Lions just played some set piece soccer to perfection, got the 2 early goals, but then UIW had an answer in the second half. And it was what, in the last 10 minutes or so, I think, that they got that?
That's correct. That's correct. Came out, I thought that we came out strong. We were controlling. Well, let me back up. There's always like this first 8 minutes, 10 minutes of the game. Both teams are trying to fill each other out. So you had player, the nerves are there. And so once the game really kind of settled in, after about 8 minutes of play, we really controlled the pitch. And then of course, had opportunities on goal, had 2 set pieces, both from corners, in which Cadence Ramirez and Chris Schultz had, answered on. And then actually Ava Watts, as soon as she was subbed into the game, we had a great string of 7 passes that led us into the final third of the field, and Ava cracked one off the crossbar. Would have been awesome.
I saw
No,
that.
she did. No, it was great. And I thought, oh my gosh, if we were able to go into halftime with a 3-0 lead, that would be fantastic. But I was pleased with certainly, our goals and thought that we played well. And, the other thing is, I told the team, this is in pregame, I said, Incarnate Word hadn't been to the playoffs since 21. They have a new coaching staff. They've obviously have brought in some different players. But for them, you're going to have a lot of first. Well, we're now going into our 3rd season into the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've mentioned on previous podcasts, all of our players have clocked a lot of minutes within this year, last year, as well as in 22. And, with that being said, with experience and minutes, and now this is your 3rd appearance, let's use that experience to really calm our nerves, And I think when players kind of think about that, it's important. So anyway, I was pleased going into the second half. And again, at the beginning of the second half, I thought that we were still continue to be in control of the game. And about the 75th minute, so those last 15 minutes of the game, they started, of course, they need 3 goals to win. They start playing completely direct, which led to a little mayhem, in front of the goal. And, we had a lack of concentration in regards to a clearance that led to a second phase and didn't track a player, and they put the ball in the back of the net. So, even though we were up in regards to all statistics, we finished the game with 8 corners to their 2 and outshot them, in regards to shots on goal and opportunities. But, when you let a team in with a goal, it's giving them belief. And at that time, pinned our ears back that we had to do everything that we could to close out the match. And so,
when you have an opponent that, you're down 2 goals and suddenly they get that first one, then they've got a little bit of momentum on their side. Right. And we talked a little about this before. Explain how you address that to make sure they don't keep the momentum.
Sure. Well, twofold. From a defensive standpoint, again, closing out a match, you have to have concentration. And we had a number of players that, I did not sub off the field that of course ended up finishing the game with 90 minutes. So it was important that just from closing out a match, you have to have concentration. You cannot take your off the ball for 1 second. Heading has to be good. Clearances have to be good. You can't allow any sort of second phase. And then the other piece to that, really defending, and this is my coaching philosophy, defending starts with your forwards and your attackers. And you have to, further up the field, you have to eliminate all of the long balls and the services. So, the forwards have to continue to do their job. They've got to get into the grill of a player and not allow service to be played. So again, it's twofold, and it's all 10 players in front of the goalkeeper.
All right, it was a great win, and that leads up. You've got a date tomorrow evening, and it will be against the hosts of the tournament.
That's right. We play Corpus at Corpus, and again, another bit of revenge, another bite at the apple. When we played each other this year at our place, they ended up beating us 2-1. And we played well in that game, and to be fair, Corpus did too. But they ended up getting us on a corner, which, like I said before, they beat us at our own game. And so for us, left a bad taste in our mouth. So I think we're ready for them. And obviously we have to bring a lot of energy. We're playing at their place. We're anticipating, certainly a lot of fans in the other blue that will be out there. But we got to come out ready to compete, and I think we'll do just that. I will. I mean, I do. I think that we'll do just that.
Coach, confidence is always so huge in a postseason situation because it's win or go home.
That's right.
You had some players that got tapped out for some pretty nice honors ahead of the tournament. Brag on those 4 players just a little bit.
Yeah, so Cadence Ramirez was named Player of the Year. She was also named Forward of the Year, and she was also, of course, named to First Team All Conference. Certainly well deserved. She's sitting with 10 goals and 3 assists. I think within our conference, the next leading goal scorer is sitting with 6 goals. So very, very well deserved. There's no doubt she has gained the respect. She had respect from everybody even last year, based on her numbers, as and she was newcomer of the year last year. So this year, my communication with her is, by the way, there's no surprises. Everybody knows, who you are. They know what your strengths are. They know what your weaknesses are. So you've got to continue to hone in on your game. And, and she's had a fabulous year, and well-deserved. And, I probably, about every coach in the conference, has either sent me a text or an email or communicated to me of just, just a congratulations for her, because she it's well deserved. And, she's a great kid on top of that, and extremely humble. So, anyway, but I've had a lot of reach around the conference in regards to congratulations for her. We had some other really great honors, Charlie, in which, we had Hannibal, who was 2nd team all conference. And she's a sophomore, by the way. And then we had 2 of our 5th years, Mindy Shoffett, defender, and Melissa Story as a midfielder, also were awarded 2nd team all conference as well. And so all of them. And we had others that actually were nominated that were in the mix, and could have had more. But anyway, it's a great testament to the respect of our team around the conference when other coaches are what you call it? Voting. Sorry, excuse me.
Right. Yeah, there was everybody was doing a little bit of that yesterday, weren't they?
Yes.
There's the possibility y'all will have a little wardrobe change on game time tomorrow.
Yes, that's certainly what I've been told. I mean, never in my imagination would I have thought that I would have started the year as Texas A&M Commerce, and potentially would then be named, not even at the end of my season, but while the postseason has taken place, to be named East Texas A&M. But regardless, I mean, we're whatever the name, we're excited, and we know that we've got great supporters and Lion fans everywhere.
New uniforms are just new uniforms. It doesn't matter what goes on the front, right?
That's right. Hey, I'll take a new uniform anytime.
There you go. All right, Coach. Well, listen, Good luck to you and the Lions tomorrow evening. We'll certainly be watching online to see how that goes, and go get
Hey,
them.
and Charlie, and my last comment. Hey, so you've got going into the semifinal, the 4 teams that finished first through fourth, with SFA and Corpus, and of course Commerce and Northwestern State.
Mhm.
So the top 4 that finished in the regular season were the 4 in the semifinal. So I like how this is played out, and I love the chance to be able to beat a team that's in our way, because right now Corpus is in our way of getting to the championship.
All right, 4 left. Go be the one, and we'll
That's
see you
right.
when we get back to Texas.
Perfect. Go Lions.
Lions. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. More of Inside Lion Athletics. We are doing it the technological way, aren't we, Coach? I
Yep,
mean,
on the road.
we're zooming
On the
all
road.
over the place. I've talked to every coach just about. Now I get somebody here with me, head coach Jarrett Von Rosenberg and the men's basketball team. And tonight, going to be taking on the Coyotes of the University of South Dakota. You ever been up here?
I have not been up here, so my
I have
first
not.
experience. The weather's actually treated us really well. It's a little colder today, but we're not getting snowed in and dealing with sub 32-degree temperature.
Yeah, I-29 was properly numbered. I was thinking that was about what it felt like when I
Yeah.
went out for a walk this morning. So, but it's an indoor sport. Talk a little bit about the game Monday night, season opener. You go up against a Big Ten squad, and they were big.
Yeah, no, we came out number one. We came out of the game injury free and healthy, which is a big positive. We were able to pull, everyone that played in the game. I think we played 11 guys. Everyone did something positive to pull away, and there were obviously a lot of areas to correct and get better. But for our first showing, to compete for, I thought we competed really well for about 30 minutes, and they went on like a 20-2 run or 22-4 run, something like that. And that really separated the game right there. Up to that point, we were leading on the glass. We were shooting a high percentage. We were getting the same amount of shots as them. The one area that was really poor is our turnovers. Turned the ball over 24 times. You can't beat anybody turning the ball over 24 times, much less a Big Ten opponent. So that's an area we got to clean up going into tonight. But we're excited. I think the guys are itching and really wanting to get back on the floor to put some better film and better taste in their mouth.
So Lion fans watching the game Monday night online, they got to see some of the new guys for the first time like I did. And what an interesting mix out there.
Yeah, no, a lot of new guys played a lot of minutes. And like I said, they did some good things really on the glass. I think our forwards really did a nice job on the glass. Got away from us late when things weren't going well. But if we keep competing on the glass, we take care of our turnovers, it's going to put us in a position to be very successful, night in and night out.
Okay, good enough. All right, so you go into the game this evening against South Dakota. They're a little bit different animal than one from the Big Ten or one from the SEC.
Yeah, but they're still, we're still a really good opponent, and we're playing in their gym, so we've got to be really clean tonight. Got to play well. Got to take a step and execute on both sides of the floor a lot better than we did Monday night, which I think we will. They're led by 2 guards that, we actually played Chase Forte last year, averaged about 20 plus against us in the 3 games for Northwestern State.
Okay.
And then they got another guard, number 1, that is the all conference player for them. So they're really 2-headed monster with the guard spot, put a lot of pressure on defense. And then they got good complementary pieces around them that can shoot it, and they got bigs that finish above the rim. So we got to be really on point defensively, make things tough on them, and then be crisp offensively and get good shots. And all we can control is getting good shots, right? Whether they go in or the rate they go in, that's not what we're worried about. We're worried about the quality of shot we're getting, and then the quality of shot we're giving up.
For some of the guys that played their first big house game, for lack of a better term, Monday, it didn't appear like they had big eyes too much, but that can happen even if you look cool, calm, and collected.
No, I don't think it was that. I think we, not in a selfish way, but guys trying to make a play, they're trying to leave their mark on the game and help our team win. But that gets them out of character too. So we got out of character a little bit, like, individuals getting out of character on, what makes them successful and what makes them good players.
Trying to do too much.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a lot of that, and our spacing wasn't good. But we could have played South Dakota and had the same problems in our first game. A lot of that's first game in front of people. You almost have too much pent up anxiety, like not anxiety, but
The
you're too
anticipation.
excited.
Yeah.
You're too excited that you kind of lose your mind a little bit on some things. And we did some stuff that we've never done. The guys have never done in practice, and all of a sudden it shows up in our first game. And that's just part of it. We knew there's going to be some of that.
Mhm.
If we'd have taken care of the ball a little bit better, even when it was a 5-point game, even when we went up, we went up 2 or 3 times there in the first 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Even through that, the same problems were happening.
Mhm.
All right. But they settled in faster, and they just kept, they have a lot of returners, and they just did a much better job of staying in the moment, staying in the possessions, and executing down, throughout the course of the game, not one possession executed and one possession that looked like you've never practiced before. And we just had too much of that inconsistency.
How did they look compared to the way they played in the 2 super secret scrimmages against good competition?
Different. Some stuff showed up Monday night that we didn't see in any of those scrimmages, but you don't
Okay.
play in front of fans. It's just
Right.
it's just a different forever and for always. It's different when you play your first opponent, even if you play an exhibition game
Mhm.
live, like just getting an opportunity, they work, and we spend so much time, right, from June 4th. Khalik's 5 years been here anticipating that game. It almost, you kind of almost want to calm down and not be fired up and not be so much adrenaline going. But it's part of it. We hopefully, I think, we were able to watch some good film, have good practice, and hopefully we'll settle in and play more consistent basketball.
All right, we got to talk about some of the fun stuff that happened in that one. Your leading scorer, no surprise. Khalik Abdul Mateen, no surprise at the name. He's not been your leading scorer before, but everybody's seen him go, and he gave you 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, I thought he was really good. And again, wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but really is our quarterback, for lack of a better term, on both sides of the ball and in that locker room. Followed up by Evan, 2 returners. I thought had really solid games for us. And they turned it over a little. It was kind of a pandemic of all of us turning it over. So those guys, too, they played a lot of minutes. They still have to take care of the ball better than they did, and they will. So those are kind of the 2 starting guards. Are really, and then Scooter in his first live action. I thought did some really good things. Didn't get some calls that, go back and looking at. He should have gone to the foul line a couple times. But on the road, you can't expect to get a whistle. You got to play through some of that stuff.
Even through the whole first half.
Yeah.
Scooter Williams is who you were talking about. He ended the game with 11 points, 4 boards. Cameron James and Josh Taylor each had half a dozen rebounds, and they combined for 9 points and 4 blocks.
Yeah.
Those taller guys pay off a little.
Well, no, Scooter had 2 of those blocks. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, and I was a little again, we've led the league, any league we've been in all 7 years I've been here. The way we play defense is we're going to send help to the rim always. And so I was surprised we didn't get more blocks, but we weren't doing what we were supposed to do from the standpoint of our rotations. And there's and again, that goes back, something we've worked on literally since June. It just didn't happen at all. So the guys know what they're supposed to do. We just, for whatever reason, we weren't locked into playing the way we want to play that helps us be successful. I see that improving. I imagine, I was surprised we only had 4 blocks. Our 5. Do we end up having 5? I guess that's not terrible, but they had 10. So we really lost that battle right there. So that needs to be better. That's just another stat that we usually lead in. And the more statistical categories, I know the only one that matters is the points, but the more categories you win in, you're usually going to be on top.
All right. So tell us a little bit more about the Yotes, as they like to call them here locally. What I found interesting was the makeup of the squad. You mentioned Chase Forte from Northwestern State, who's transferred up here, but they got another guy. They have 3 Texans. And Caleb Stewart, who's he's a Houston guy, went to Atascocita and then La Tech.
Yeah, I watched him play in the state title game down in San Antonio 4 years ago, I guess, or 5. Can't remember now. But he's a really good player. Those are the two guys that really start them going, and they got a lot of complementary pieces behind those guys that just efficient, good basketball players. I mean, they're just a really solid, good team. They showed that they're going to pressure the whole game. We'll see if that holds true. I'm sure after watching us turn it over 24 times, that we're going to see some of that and how we handle it and not only break a press, but we're trying to score against a press. It's not get the ball across half.
Yeah,
court and
you're
look
not
over
just
a
trying to
coach.
escape.
We're trying to get a 3 or a dunk.
Yeah.
Is literally what we talk about. So hopefully we can do that, be aggressive, take care of the ball, get good shots. They don't always have to go in, but like again, goes back to quality of shot. If we're going to get numbers in transition, we need to be shooting a shot at the rim or a feed set 3.
All right, Coach. The game not tonight, but on Friday night against Texas A&M. And I've asked all the coaches about this. Might be some different uniforms in the kit. What do the guys think about this?
I don't even know. We haven't talked about it once.
Oh,
So
okay.
when we get there, we'll get there.
There you
Try
go.
to take care of tonight.
Those are the clothes in front of my locker. That's what I'll wear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm actually a little surprised no one's come up. None of the guys have even asked me about it. But I think they're locked in. I think it's going to be great for a university. So we're excited about it. We're excited to be a small part of it and kind of be able to represent that immediately will be pretty cool. So
there's a lot of stuff popping up on the socials. People kind of looking forward to that. Fun to watch. It will be fun to be a part of it.
Right?
It's very possible the soccer team when they go into their semifinal against A&M Corpus.
When's that game?
I think theirs starts at 7
tomorrow night,
and the meetings will be sometime during the day before that. So
yeah, it'll be pretty cool.
Cool stuff.
Yep.
All right. Well, good luck tonight. We'll
Appreciate it.
both be busy, but you'll be able to keep an eye on it on the plus and over at 88.9 KETR. Thanks, everybody. That's another edition of Inside Lion Athletics, and we'll see you when we get home on Saturday.